This is a life-threatening situation. You want to be in your safe place.
Mommy said we have to get to our safe space now. She heard the guy on TV say there's a tornado coming this way. Daddy grabbed some helmets and flashlights, just in case, he said. Mommy said the sooner we know, the safer we will be.
Storm Tracker Doppler weather with meteorologist Trey Tonnessen.
One last look at the setup of your severe weather potential this afternoon and evening. But first, storms rolling across the area right now. Down to our south, the strongest of storms going to miss our area, but light to moderate rainfall beginning for areas like Ruston and Monroe. South Arkansas actually getting a brief break. The blue shade is about the lightest shade this radar shows as far as picking up rainfall. But on into your satellite and radar imagery out to our northeast, storms from last night move off. We're going to see the next batch of strong storms out to our west. Going to be pushed by a cold front you'll see in just a moment. But your severe threat today, like taking a look at this one more time. Areas in red, moderate risk, that's a 4 out of 5 severe risk, and then areas in orange, level 3 enhanced risk, including Monroe and Bastrop as well, but Ruston included in the 4 out of 5. But either way, no matter what shade you're in, all areas included in the severe risk today. And as we see this warm front move off to the north, it's going to leave us in what we call the warm sector. And as that happens, you start seeing the cold front advance from the west. And once the cold front reaches our area, a couple different factors contributing to it, but one of those will be stronger winds from the south will actually help to put us in a destabilizing warm sector as that front approaches. And as that happens, severe weather development further is increased. But as of now, we're seeing what we call a capping inversion on the atmosphere. Warm air aloft just pretty much caps. That's what we call it, a cap. It caps the atmosphere and prevents a lot of that air from rising into the atmosphere and condensing and provoking storm development. But should that cap break, then air will be free to rise into the atmosphere, condenses rather quickly, either farther up into the atmosphere. Air is going to provoke storm development once that cap is removed. But should the cap be removed, we'll be watching the potential for this cold front to push quite a bit of storm activity into our area. If things stay in a linear state, or linear setup, QLCS, which is a quasi-linear convective system, just meaning long line of storms, then our main concern will be damaging winds along the line, as you can see it bow out. But by the time this front makes its way into central Louisiana, southern Arkansas, and the South Arkansas as well, we'll actually see that some of these storms could break off from the original line and become their own individual cells. And if this happens, it could take advantage of that warm, humid atmosphere, provoking storm development. And should the cap break, some of these, multiple, even if it just takes one, could actually develop into a strong or dangerous storm. Remember, all modes possible tonight. Tornadoes, hail, damaging winds, flooding, everything in the cards. So definitely have multiple ways to be warned.
Class is in session and the NBC 10 Fox 14 weather team is teaching. Go to myarclubus.com/extra and click on Weather 101 for an in-depth explanation of weather topics. Sponsored by Level Tech.
Your weatherman is doing a good job. I've lived through 4 tornadoes in my life, and it's always good to see somebody who cares about the rest of us.
Live Storm Tracker Doppler radar, sponsored by Homeland Bank. And now, Storm Tracker Doppler weather with meteorologist Trey Tonnessen.
Showers across the region increasing as we move into your late morning. Light and moderate in nature now, but a few heavier showers are to our south and west. Let's take a look at that Doppler radar at the moment, and those showers will continue off to the east. Now up towards the north central part of Louisiana and even eventually into southern Arkansas. Now southern Arkansas saw showers first this morning, but those have moved off to the east and they're actually in a dry period. El Dorado showers just to the south of town, but Ruston and Monroe both seeing that light rainfall. That blue shade of rainfall is actually pretty light. It's one of the lightest shades you can get on this radar product. Out to our west, showers ramping up into central Texas. You'll see why that is in just a moment. Clouds pretty standard across the region and pretty built as well. Temperatures about 10 to probably less than that, about 5 to 7 degrees warmer than they were this time yesterday actually. But the wind moderate and calm at the moment in areas on the eastern side of Louisiana and southern Arkansas. But as you go towards the the central to the western side. Areas like Ruston seeing winds picking up at the moment, but everyone will see winds throughout the day today, especially into the afternoon hours. It's important to note that these winds are coming from the south, and as they come from the south, we've heard this multiple times this week as the flow's been sticking around for a while. South to southwesterly winds bring that warm, humid air up into our atmosphere. You'll see why this will actually help to further enhance our risk for some storm development today, because that warm, humid air flowing up and into our area. This warm front lifting up to the north and northeast this morning as it moves off, leaves us in what we call the warm sector ahead of the cold front out to our west, the strong cold front. But by the time that front gets here, we'll most likely be in a destabilizing warm sector with those increasing southerly winds, which could act to enhance our risk for storms. Firstly, though, around 1 p.m. today, you'll start to see those storms develop in areas like Dallas and the north part of Texas. As the cold front pushes closer to our area, we'll see showers mainly stay to our north in north central Arkansas ahead of that warm front. But behind it, this cold front actually starts to drive what looks to be a developing linear type pattern into Texas, which means long line of storms, or QLCS, quasi-linear convective systems. Sometimes meteorologists like to come up with things to make them seem smarter than they are, but that just basically means a long line of storms. And by the time that front gets here between midnight to 1 a.m., we could see some of those storms start to break off from the linear segment, and that's where we could see some problems, because firstly, we have a warm air set aloft. That means that warm air is situated above the cooler air, which is normally actually the opposite of what needs to happen for storm development. But should that cap on the atmosphere be broken, some of these storms that break into their own individual segments could begin to develop rather quickly and rapidly, intensifying into strong or severe storms. So that doesn't mean that modes of severe weather are generally off the table, as most are still on the table today. All modes, tornadoes, short or long tracked, hail, damaging winds, flooding, all on the table once again, and we'll keep you updated throughout the next couple of hours. But taking a look across your weekend, things cool off, but warm up a little bit into Sunday with mostly sunny skies.
Thank you, Trey. Still to come on Fox 14.
Your Go Nation report is next. Keep it right here on Fox 14.